We're going to talk about a potential downturn in the market because of something very, very superstitious. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new, make sure you have subscribed, hit that bell button and leave a like. Now, superstition. Ghost month it's called. Now, in Asia, there's a festival month essentially that happens. It's usually end of August, September time. And actually the data backs up the fact that sometimes in cryptocurrency it follows it. So we may be heading for a bit of a retracement coming forward. Now that is not financial advice. I'm just reporting what happened, right? We're going to go back through the charts, we're going to look at it, and we're going to look at other things and elements that could play into this anyways, regardless, due to the run that we've been on throughout most of August and obviously the end of July. So it's important to know, right? If you've not yet done so and you've been buying Bitcoin around 32k, 33k, and you've not taken anything off the table, that's fair enough, right? But if you have had altcoins that have had huge runs, maybe you should be looking at, taking 5%, 10% here and there and go and enjoy yourself. Go and get a Nando's, go and do whatever. Other food restaurants are obviously available, but make sure you understand that profit taking is key. Now, again, as always, we need to look at this with a realistic head. And the market has done very, very well. Realistically, when you think about the amount, obviously we're nearly at $2 trillion right now. It's bumped up a lot. So we've got to be careful. Now, Ghost Month. In terms of financials, there's all kinds of other elements to this, by the way. And whether you believe it or not is another thing. Obviously, people are different. But if you've got people that do believe it and it is going to affect the market, you could probably bet your bottom dollar that it will play some sort of havoc in some sort of decision making. Now, one of them, point number 5 at the bottom there, avoid making any type of investment. Investors are commonly avoiding the stock market in August due to superstition that it may bring misfortune. Now, Ghost Month is a massive taboo with all kinds of elements, not so much financial, but just life itself. So certain ways of like walking in the dark, putting your slippers in the right way next to your bed, standing next to a wall, all kinds of random stuff. It's Ghost Month. It's that for a reason. Now, it's very, very interesting that people will believe that the spiritual world will come back together and maybe bite you on the arse, basically, which, if people believe it, they believe it. It's like a trading strategy. It's like an investment strategy. If you've got your own beliefs and your own isms that work for you, you will stick by it. And the old myths that we all have as youngsters, as kids, will come alight in your future life, in the future when you're an adult, that it may well be a true thing that you may be told from a kid that might be absolute nonsense, but you believe it anyways. And this is the sort of thing with this, especially in Asia, very, very traditional. Okay, so if you're thinking money, monetary value, and there's a bulk of people that are not investing in a period of time for even 3-4 weeks in a month, well, you're probably going to bet that maybe it might cause something in the market. Whether that is up or down, we don't know. That's speculation, but I'm just giving you a big massive warning sign saying maybe something might happen, so just be careful. But what we're going to do now, we're going to look over the period of August and September in history, what has happened in the past. Now, the one thing that we obviously need to talk about, obviously, I want to go into the 3-day chart so it's a bit more visible. So far, currently, right now, we're okay, right? If we're going into September right now, this is what the big warning sign is for me. Yes, we've retraced it, and I've got an arrow pointing up towards that point. Personally, we've had a huge run. From the 18th of July to now, within a month's period, we've done very, very well. Incredibly well. Is that just an automatic renewal of that belief that we are going to retrace? Potentially, yes. Probability, yes. Nothing goes up straight line forever. However, that being said, it depends on the market sentiment, obviously. Moving down the timeline, and let's look at the following August, September. We can look at this and think, well, very, very similar. Very, very similar. We had a bit of a push up to the upside throughout that summer. And then by the start of September, we had quite an aggressive pullback. We had a rejection from a key level and we pulled back and then we obviously shot off. So if we're thinking short term here, maybe September is a cool off month for October, November, December to be absolutely bullish and we all get filthy rich? Yes, I'm up for that. Comment yes if you want that. Moving on to obviously the following year from that, which was an interesting year in my opinion, because this was part of the bear market. When we start looking at it, again, downtrend. Nothing really happened. But again, the same sort of kind of summer of hopium was there. Look at May, into June, into July, and then we started pulling back. And more aggressively, when that September period did come, we kind of fell off a cliff quite a bit. And when we consider the fact that start of August we were at 12k, and then by basically mid to towards the end of September around 7,800, it's a big indication of a very, very severe downturn in a very, very small period of time, especially when you think that's only over 6 weeks. So that's an interesting look at. Moving down the line again, similar sort of elements here. July and June, bullish, and then we fell off a cliff. And then again, in towards this period, very, very interested to see what happened. And that was obviously beforehand. By the way, though, with Ghost Month, it's a certain time period. It's not a set date every year. It's a certain time frame. I will put it on the comments, on the text here, so you can see it. Because the one thing, obviously, if it's a certain time of the year, it's going to vary. So we don't know fully what it is, but realistically, we're seeing a pattern here. We're seeing a very, very good element of some sort of bull passage in the summer, and then obviously a correction. This was the heavy bear market as well, so we had a little bit of an upturn and then the obvious downturn again. Moving into the world of the bull market of 2017, again, we had a nice little impulse and then a pullback. Again, similar sort of timing. So there's definitely something here that we need to keep an eye on, that basically September time, end of August, isn't a great time for Bitcoin for most of the time when you look back and when you look at history. And it's important to take a note of that. And the reason why I say that is because statistical data is always going to be key in whatever market we are in. Again, if we're looking at, obviously, we've had this July, June period, then obviously went on a run here, and this was 2017, which I just put on the log scale. Again, similar sort of pullback, very, very interesting. Going all the way back into 2017 periods here, again, similar sort of ilk here, a downtrend into that sort of month period. So it's definitely of interest, something to keep an eye on. But the one thing that has happened that's pretty common throughout this theme of this video, there's been a big push to the upside, a big massive bullish run. And when we're looking right now at current live history right now, we could be getting a bigger pullback than we want to, basically, in my opinion. However, it's just speculation, isn't it? It's just data, it's history. History rhymes where it doesn't repeat in finance, remember that. But at the same time, I personally think we are going to retrace because we've had a good run. And I'm more than happy to sacrifice the fact that we have made a 65% upturn in the market in BTC for a correction. Because standardized corrections around the markets, usually 15 to 20% usually on Bitcoin, especially on a nice little pullback. However, it might be a bit more than that. We may be looking at 30% retracing, which is totally healthy anyway, it's totally fine. So maybe we should look at some of these levels that I've already pinpointed here. So what we're saying, 40k? 40k wouldn't be a bad place to go, would it? No, it would be absolutely fine. What about 35k? What if this is a liquidity grab for the future upside to come, where October, November, December is relatively bullish? And you got to remember, rough with the smooth. You can't, nothing goes up forever. It's not up only. Remember, one directional bias doesn't work. You've got to be multifunctional. Because to survive and to grow in the markets, in any market, you got to understand, 1, taking profit, 2, markets pull back, and 3, positioning. Positioning is important. Getting in on those retracements, them corrections, the retest of support levels, they're vitally important. So if we're looking at Bitcoin, I do believe we're going to go higher. Obviously, I do. I'm a Bitcoin bull. We know that. However, are we going to get some short-term pain first? Yes, I've highlighted this level, but realistically, we could be looking at a much lower level towards that EMA, towards that $39,813 level throughout the next coming weeks, months, days, whatever it may be, right? We don't know. However, if there is a large percentage of a population that is interested in cryptocurrency, investing, and they believe in the world of Ghost Month and stuff like that, and the superstition factor, it may well cause different things to happen. There may be less bears around. It may well make the market pump. It may be less volume of the bulls We don't know. This is the beautiful thing about this, and as an investor, as a speculator, as a content creator, seeing how it plays out. For me, as I always say, if you're sitting on decent bags and you've took, a good position over the last few months, as I've been saying, monthly levels, look at those situations, whether you're looking at whatever coin it is, and you've not taken 10, 20% out just to enjoy your life, you should be, because that's how you grow. At the end of the day though, speculation, not financial advice, could be absolute nonsense. Do I believe in it? Not really, but some people do. That's the important thing. Everything in the market is a factor of belief, in my opinion. You may believe the EMA works. You may believe a certain type of the EMA works. You may believe the Fibonacci works. Certain levels of structure. It is all based on you. Subjective. It's very much subjective. So, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. Leave a comment if you believe in this sort of stuff, or if you think there's certain realms for caution moving forwards, but certainly in the next coming weeks, because on the 22nd of August, this is when it will be happening. From that point onwards, it could be interesting, so make sure you understand it.